Welcome to 1850 Main Street, a place where friends get together and talk about their country and hope for a brighter future. Today, Rob Walgate and Alan C. Duncan from the Public Square are joined by David Zanotti, the CEO of the American Policy Roundtable.
Now that a Kennedy has joined the Trump campaign, it's got us thinking about conspiracies. Like what actually happened in the attempted assassination of Donald Trump?
We recently got into the area of the word conspiracy, and so I think we probably ought to continue talking in that regard. And one of the conspiracies that seems to be bubbling up in plain sight that I think nobody wants to look at it, and the people who are looking at it are already getting a lot of criticism, but it's haunting, and that's the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. Now, it's kind of interesting because when Bobby Kennedy, RFK Jr., decided to come over and endorse Trump, and the Trump campaign and the president embraced Kennedy's endorsement and embraced him and gave a very fair and thorough hearing to the things that Bobby Kennedy cares about the most. And what we found out was that when Bobby Kennedy's talking, a lot of people are shaking their heads going, yeah, I've been thinking that for a long time. I'm glad somebody's finally talking about it. Yeah. I mean, it's really interesting to see that unfold. I don't even think we've begun to consider what the possibilities are of what that means for the future. Forget who wins this election. What's happening right now is something that hasn't happened before in anybody's recent memory. This is very interesting. But before we go all down that stuff, what doesn't seem to be going away are the questions around the Butler, Pennsylvania attempted assassination. Right. And they're getting weirder as the days go on. Okay, I mean, it's weird enough to look at the inefficiency of it. Yeah. How, for 2 hours, could that many well-intentioned and fully qualified, fully armed, and equipped law enforcement people be tracking someone? And then when you listen to the body cam tapes and the frustration of the different law enforcement agencies, did you hear the one where the guy said, we had him and we lost him? How does that happen?
Yeah, I don't know. I think probably there's been so much training that goes in for so long, but when's the last time that we've seen a real life scenario play out? Like, no. I mean, that's like live happening. Okay, this is not a test. This is not a drill.
This is not Netflix. Yeah, this is really happening in real time in a place not so far away that a lot of people have been to and we can relate to and understand. What?
Right. Well, and I think that you just don't expect I guess there was a lot of issues with the communication between the local police.
Agencies.
Yeah. There just was miscommunications at the very least.
Let's stop for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. How could they have missed the roof? Okay. Let's chalk that one up on the board. If we were going to do,
can we stop there for 1 second?
Go back to Glenn Beck and the Fox days. Let's go and get the blackboard up. Okay.
Well, the one thing
they missed that one.
Well, they did, and then the director of the Secret Service comes out and says that it's this angle of the roof and the slope and all that kind of stuff. When you say stuff like that, people say,
"Oh, that's what they say." And you feel,
you're like, "What are you talking about?" And then they show the pictures of the roof they're actually on. It's a steeper slope, and it's just people are like, "Why are you lying? Just at least tell us the truth. Like we can see you." That's like a kid like hiding behind their finger. Like, I'm looking at you. So that kind of stuff feeds conspiracies. That kind of stuff.
Okay. So then we've got the fact of the water tower. We got the fact of the roof. We got the fact that they had them and lost them. And look, to me, I've always said the biggest conspiracy in political history. You can study politics and stuff that went wrong. And you look and how did this happen? Usually it's just human failure.
Human error.
It's human error. And you can say, well, that's stupidity, but it's usually, in all honesty, it's just the accumulation of human error. Okay.
And this was a deadly one. I mean, because people died on that Saturday afternoon in Butler, PA. That's the sad part.
And were seriously wounded.
Yes.
Now, what's troubling about this, and the reason that you can't get past the Kennedy assassination, if you ever start, it becomes a magnetic black hole that you can't get out of.
Maybe we can do an 1850 on it sometime.
Well, because when you watch the Zapruder film, when you look at all of it and you watch all the documentaries and all the films, your mind keeps saying, I can't believe it happened. I can't believe somebody didn't stop it. But it did happen. But that was the 60s. Mm-hmm. Okay. We didn't have drones in the 60s.
But the kid who went on the roof had a drone and he flew it over Butler Fairgrounds or the
okay
before. Did he not?
That's like, I just feel like you punched me right in the gut. That's just like when you think about that and you absorb that, you're going, wait a second. The greatest law enforcement network ever known to humanity didn't have the resources to use or the thought or the foresight to fly a drone or keep a drone in the air. But the kid who's dead broke, who swiped his dad's gun, so to speak, or he's dead now, I can say he stole the gun. What difference does it make? What's he going to do, right? All right. Who got the gun, however he got it, he had a drone. He flew it and people saw it. There's two kinds of conspiracies. There's conspiracy of ignorance and human failure and all of that happening. Like, why did the Secret Service not pick up the set of radios that was designated to them? Because everybody in law enforcement, like your friend David Mazur told us, who we interviewed. And David made it very clear that different forms of law enforcement do not share the same radio technology, channels, or tools. All right? They have to have a cooperative agreement. And that agreement was in place, and the Secret Service never picked up the radios. Why did the Secret Service never pick up the radios? Think of how many levels of decision-making it had to get to. Whose job was that? Whose job was picking up the radios? Could we find out? Yeah. But here's the one I can't handle. I absolutely can't handle it. Who fired the shot that got the shooter?
Well, see, and that's been part of the conspiracy theory as well. And there's people that are saying, well, there was 3 shooters because you hear, and they analyze the different types of guns. We see a sniper on a roof take a shot. From what I've been told, that's not the guy that killed the young man attempting the assassination. Mm-hmm. It was another gun. That's why you hear 3 different types of shot. There weren't 2 different shooters shooting at the president. There were 2 sets of good guys shooting at the bad guy.
But we don't have eyes on those other good guys.
I don't think we have eyes on that other good guy. Wherever he was, how he was, yeah.
But the ballistics would have told us what weapon was used for the shot.
Well, and I believe the government knows who killed the bad guy.
Why don't we?
Yeah.
Why don't we know? Why don't we know how it happened?
iVoters.com changes everything about the way we process elections. Instead of negative TV and radio ads and biased opinions from editorial boards, now people in all 50 states can get the facts about candidates and ballot issues from a nonpartisan, independent source. iVoters is fast, free, secure, and powerful. With iVoters, you can vote with confidence and encourage others to do the same. Free minds, free speech, free agents. iVoters.com, a public service of the American Policy Roundtable.
I wonder if Trump becomes president again, if some of that information will come out.
Well, that's where I see when Bobby Kennedy comes over and Trump's people say, okay, you are going to chair a commission for us if we're reelected. You're going to put us and we are going to study your dad's death, your uncle's death, and how they almost just killed me.
Well, that was an amazing thing to say on many, many levels. Because first of all, a lot of people are interested in that stuff.
I heard people cheering from their graves.
Yeah, right.
Who went to their graves saying, there was another shooter on the grassy knoll.
But it also elevates Trump's name to those Kennedy names as well.
I hadn't even thought about that.
He puts his own the attempt on his life next to those Kennedys, which that's just an interesting rhetorical device at the very least.
Well, and I think that's one more example how this current administration and the Democrat Party, in essence, pushed Bobby Kennedy to Donald Trump. They pushed him there, and there was a variety of reasons. One, he tried to talk to him. He wanted to be a Democrat. They wanted nothing for him to do in the primary process.
That's the part that kills me. You've got a Kennedy running in 2024, but you don't want him.
Yeah, but also the fact that as a presidential candidate, he could be entitled to Secret Service protection if the administration would have allowed him to have it. They kept saying no. Why did they say no to him? They said no because they wanted him to spend money on his own protection, and that would help him not be able to get on the ballot. So now he's not going to be on the ballot through his decision, and they're fighting to get him back on the ballot.
So they were okay with risking a candidate's life just for a political maneuver.
And here's the second kind of conspiracy. One is the conspiracy of human error. And you could say that however you want to say it. I own this, okay? There are times that I'm really stupid. And the word stupid in the NIV version of the book of Proverbs is in the Bible.
Okay.
Sometimes people are stupid, and I know there are times I've been really stupid.
Yeah, me too.
So people can be stupid. Organizations can be stupid. Agencies can be stupid. It happens.
We make mistakes.
We make mistakes, and sometimes you look back and go, how could you? But we do. We are all made of dust, and we all fall down. Then the second question we have, however, is not even intention, because intention is much, much more difficult to prove. And usually it takes 30 to 50 years for someone to finally say what was really going on behind the scenes and to show a pattern of intention, because nobody wants to get caught. What that leaves us with is the other form of conspiracy, which is cover up. And that's the part I think that infuriates people. Why we don't know. Why this, look, if you want people to stop asking questions, give them answers.
That's like parenting, you know, answer your kids' questions.
Yeah. And like kids always ask the question, like the truth is some big secret that they're going to be surprised of. And then you tell them the truth. They're like, oh, that's it. And I'm like, that's it. And that's what we want to know. We just want to know the truth. There's a lot of people that say they need new conspiracy theories because all their old ones keep coming true. Yeah. So they're not conspiracies anymore.
I think Michael Knowles calls them conspiracy theorems now.
Now, we could list 20 or 30 other things. Why was the crime scene not protected? Why do we not have a toxicology report on the shooter? I would sure like to know what his medicine cabinet looked like. I would like to know, is this another instance where a shooter was actually someone who was on a form of mind-altering drug that would cause them to lose touch with reality, become suicidal, become violent? And I would like to know. I would like to know why the Biden administration did not instantly understand this as an assassination attempt and attempted to dissuade the story, almost seemingly wanting to push it into the concept of a mass shooting. That we've got a loony who's in a mass shooting, and it just so happened that he decided to shoot up a Trump rally, and Trump was in the crossfire. As opposed, why do we not have information on the bank accounts that were encrypted? Why do we not know what this person's connections were to any type of foreign agency? Why was the body cremated? Before an autopsy was done, and why we don't have a toxicology report? Why?
There was a conspiracy theory going the other way, like from the left, saying that Trump staged the entire thing for the photo op. You know, so you got conspiracy theories flying all over the place.
The brutality of that is beyond imagination.
Right? I know.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that was out there.
I don't even know what to say to that. I mean, the fact that someone would.
But that was a person who is hired by a news agency and has a job.
Well, when it comes to those news agencies, remember immediately after it happened, they talked about the headlines were such that Trump ushered off stage after loud bang. I'm like, loud bang, his ears bleeding from a gunshot. Someone's dead. Loud bang, you know.
Those headlines were real. We all saw them.
Yes. Yeah. You could probably pull them up right now, unless they've scrubbed the internet.
They probably have.
But didn't one of the higher ups of the FBI wouldn't even say a bullet hit his ear under congressional testimony? He was saying, we still need to make sure that it wasn't some sort of shrapnel or something. They wouldn't even say a bullet hit him.
That's the other thing. It was glass. That was the conspiracy. It was glass.
It was glass.
There wasn't a broken teleprompter. So where'd the glass come from? Like, it makes no sense.
You see, this is the bigger conspiracy. Why is this kind of counter narrative? Why is it happening? What is going on inside the administrative state, inside the Department of Justice, inside the Department of Homeland Security, inside the Secret Service? What is going on that would cause people to trip and fall into this disinformation, cover-up mindset? What are they trying to hide? Are they trying to hide their inefficiencies? Well, the director of the Secret Service already took the fall. She's gone. Well, what, another 10, 12, 14, 15 people at risk of losing their jobs? Look, if you're trying to protect your job, all right, I get it. That's part of the human failure. We get that part. Yeah. But the cover-up is ultimately going to be uncovered. Yeah. It may take 25 years, but it's going to be uncovered. And Mike, I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe there's a time stamp. Maybe there's a shelf life on it. It'll disappear. But I don't think that it's going to go away before this election. I don't understand why the Harris people don't understand. If they can't get on top of this with DOJ and the Secret Service, they got a problem. It would seem to me it would be in their best interest to pull every cover back as fast as possible. If not, the thing's just going to continue to multiply.
Yeah, because people are going to continue to ask the questions. That's why if it's not a conspiracy, then just provide the answers. Just sit down and be honest with everyone about what took place, because there's a lot of people that are left scratching their head on how a young kid pulled off what he did.
The conversations are just getting started. To get connected, check out 1850mainstreet.com. We don't data mine anyone or sell your information. Subscribe today so you don't miss a single conversation. We'll see you next time here at 1850 Main Street.